Hey, Super Second Grade Squad. I'm Emily Scott, and welcome to this week's reading skills video. So, I just want to take a few minutes to tell you what your teacher will be talking with your child about this week. So, our main resource is going to be from the Ready Reading Workbook. It's lesson 9, and it's called Describing How Characters Act. So, describing how characters in a story respond to important events and challenges will help you understand how and why the characters act the way they do. So, the three main big vocabulary words that your child will be working with this week are characters. So basically, we just want the kids to know that characters are either the people or the animals that are in the story doing the things. They could be people, they could be animals, they could even be objects. Think about like Beauty and the Beast when some of the objects come to life, but they're just the people who are doing the actions in the story. The second vocab word is the word respond. So respond just means how do they react to whatever things are happening to them in the story. And then the last vocab word for this week is challenge. And a lot of the kids, when they hear the word challenge, they think about a battle or a war or things like that with games or video games, things like that. But we really want the kids to understand that a challenge can be anything in the story that they're up against. It can be just the challenge of feeling anxious or nervous about a test that's coming up. It can be the challenge of how to handle someone being unkind to you on the playground. So, challenges are just any event or thing that happens in a story that is a problem for the character that they have to overcome. So, last week we talked a lot with fables and folk tales and tall tales. We're going to keep folk tales in the mix this week, but we're going to be adding a new genre, realistic fiction. So basically, realistic fiction just means a story that could be real, but it's not. So it won't have anything like magic and monsters and aliens and wizards and things like that. It's just going to have regular people doing regular things, but somebody made up the story. So the big thing for this week with these realistic fictions and these folk tales is we are going to be looking at the characters and how they are reacting or responding to events or challenges that they face. So to help your child prepare for the test this week, just read realistic stories with them that have really strong characters who are facing big problems. And then you're going to want to ask your child to identify what are the challenges that they're facing. Their test has the word challenge on it a lot. What are the challenges that these characters are facing? How do those characters respond to those problems? Ask them if the characters learn anything from those problems that they face, and then talk with your child about what they can learn or what the reader learns about the characters based on how they act, or what they do in the story or what they say. So we're really digging deeply into characters and what they say and do, especially when they are faced with a problem. Okay, now let's switch over to language. So, in language, we have two different skills that we're working on this week. The first one is comparing formal language and informal language. So, basically, what we're doing here is trying to get the kids to understand that depending on situations and who you're speaking to, you might want to speak in a different way. For instance, if you're talking with your best friend, you could just come up to them and say, "Hey, what's up?" But if you're speaking to a principal or someone that's your boss, you might want to say, "Hello, how are you today?" So just having them think through who is my audience, who am I speaking to, and what is my situation? Am I at home hanging out on my couch, or am I in a more formal setting? Maybe I'm giving a speech somewhere, or I'm talking to a boss or a principal. So just formal versus informal language. The second skill kind of goes along with our writing, since we're writing narratives. This is using adjectives and adverbs to describe things. So the point of this is to help kids be really specific while they're writing, to describe their nouns and their verbs. Instead of just saying, "I heard a noise," you could say, "I heard a squeaky noise." Instead of just saying, "The muffins were baking," you could say, "The sweet muffins were baking." So just trying to find words that are more descriptive. So they'll be using that in their narratives. Remember, narratives need to have a story opening with characters and setting. Then we need to describe our actions until the story is done. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions, get with your child's teacher, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.